Need new glasses or want a fresh new style? Warby Parker has you covered. Glasses start at just $95, including anti-reflective, scratch-resistant prescription lenses that block 100% of UV rays. Every frame's designed in-house with a huge selection of styles for every face shape. And with Warby Parker's free home try-on program, you can order 5 pairs to try at home for free. Shipping is free both ways, too. Go to warbyparker.com/covered to try 5 pairs of frames at home for free. warbyparker.com/covered.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, sir, and welcome all to part 15 of our football book podcast with Andy from myfootballbooks.com. How's things, mate? What kind of a month have you had since the last recording of part 14?
It's flying by. I can't believe we're mid-November already. As someone told me today, I think it's less than 40 days till Christmas.
Crazy.
Someone telling me it's madness. Really busy with my full-time job and trying to keep up things with what I prefer to do, this hobby as well. So yeah,
Absolutely.
What I like doing. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, good. Have they missed the Christmas rush? The book now.
You've probably got to the end of the month, and you can. It's changed a little bit, like the likes of Amazon, so you can get a book so quickly, can't you? Of Amazon now. Yeah. I suppose if you did release a book in December, you could still probably get it delivered. Sometimes you get it delivered the same day, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
So, but most people have published their books out by now. Yeah, in readiness for the festive period.
And I think we did mention on previous podcasts that October seems to be the best month, the most productive month for the Christmas market, which is the biggest market of the calendar year, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, David. It was well over 40 books that I know of that was released in October just on its own. So if you compare it to November, it's probably about 10, maybe 15, I think, or so.
Yeah,
the books released in November, so you see a massive difference. So there's a real peak, and there's obviously reasons for that.
And who's the most productive producers, publishers of books?
There's a handful. I think I'd say Legends Publishing, Morgan Lawrence, and a few others, but the one that always sticks out is Pitch Publishing.
Yeah.
They don't just focus just on football books, or sports books in general, but they're pretty prolific throughout, Paul. Massively so.
Fantastic. And let's just have a little bit of a backstory of My Football Books and how we actually came about, because I got hold of you. I really enjoyed what you did on Terry Curran's The Curran View. I said, Andy, do you fancy giving us a recommendation every month, of which you did? And The Curran View is going well and strong, and so is our Football Book Corner. But how did you start getting this love of promoting football books, Andy?
Well, can I just echo that? I can't believe this is the part 15. It's incredible. It's my favourite time of the month when we get to have a chat between ourselves and we can talk and share about the football that's coming out. But how it all started, it's crikey when I think back now, 3 years plus. So it was COVID times when I was furloughed from my work, had a bit of time on hands, conversation with the wife about, I was ordering a football book. She said, haven't you got enough football books? You're spending far too much on football books. and I just come up with an idea, because she actually said, how do you know which books to look for? And that sort of triggered me. Yeah. And it was just an idea that crept. And www.myfootballbooks.com started from that. And and it's now, I still don't know of anyone that tells me otherwise, the largest football book only, just to make it clear, football book only online website in the world. So, it's just grown. It's just incredible when I think of social media. Just on Twitter alone, I'm just up to 12,000 followers. It's bonkers, really. How many people love, the written word of the beautiful game. It's just gone from strength to strength.
Absolutely. And you've recently done a podcast about a Nottingham Forest book, haven't you? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I did. Yes. I had a catch-up with Warren Turner, the author of the New Forest book, Got That Loving Feeling. So out through pitch, the aforementioned pitch. So yeah, it was great catching up with Warren for a good half an hour or so, talking football. As any listeners will know from previous parts, I've got to invest in. I was saying to him, I'm probably his target audience, really.
Yeah.
Not only am I a football book lover, I'm a Forest fan as well. So yeah, I'm probably going to want, if I didn't buy his book, he might think, what's going off here then? So, but no, it was great to talk to. It was great to hear some of the stories and the people he got to speak to as well, and pulling the book together. And it's his first book as well. And just as I was talking about some of the stories you shared, and being a Forest fan, it took me through a mix of emotions. What a good football book does, really, and it certainly did on that. When you think of the because it covers a period of the last 25 or so years, so of Forest ups and downs.
So does it? When you say 25 years, was Forest still in the Premier League when he started writing the book, or some of the chapters about the book, Premier League, and then the demise, and then the rebirth again of Nottingham Forest under Stevie Cooper?
Yeah, funnily enough, I asked him that. So he starts in 1996.
Yeah.
So he purposely starts at a period when it was Frank Clark who was manager at the time in the Premier League, and actually Forest were playing in the UEFA Cup at that time, and I think Forest were the last team, English team, to be playing in Europe at the time as well, when they got knocked out by Bayern Munich in 96. But it just quickly unravelled after that, and then there's a decline and further decline when you go down to the first ever European Cup winner to go down to its domestic third division, when it went down to what's now classed as League One.
Yeah.
So
was Ron in the book?
Who, sorry?
Ron Atkinson, was that Taylor?
He's referenced, he's referenced
dugout.
as some cracking stories, yes. Yeah, you'll laugh out loud when I read some of the stories, but Ron Atkinson...
that was Cloughie's fault,
It was what, sorry?
It was Cloughie's fault, that, why big
Was
Ron.
it?
Yeah. What did he say? Did he say anything about the story? Did he speak to Ron?
No, he didn't speak to Ron. Not from what I gather, anyway. I think it was more he recalls the story, obviously. If anyone doesn't know and they're listening, that he comes out of the dugout. I think he has to walk past the home bench, if I'm thinking about where it is. He walks past, then goes and sits in the away dugout on the bench alongside all the Arsenal substitutes, and he must be looking around thinking, who's all this then I've signed, And then you've got people behind him. If you see it on YouTube, all the Forest fans going, "You've gone the wrong dugout, Ron, that way."
But you know why he did that? You know why he did that?
No, I think I remember. Remind me, Paul. What was the story?
Well, years ago, there was only Brian's dugout there. That was it. Brian had his dugout there, and the visiting dugout was somewhere south of the River Trent. And Ron said to me, you could never see anything from that dugout, the away dugout that Cloughie put down there at the City Ground. He said, so when we played Nottingham Forest at the Hawthorns, we were having a lot of redevelopment work. He said, and I said to the groundsman, see that dugout there? Go and stick it in the biggest lump of mud you can find so they can't see nothing. And he said, and nail it down, 'cause you know what them pair are like, they'll pick it up and move it. So that's what happened. And when they come out, he said, Cloughie and Taylor, they got all mud on their shoes and stuff. And Ron said to Peter Taylor, hey, by the way, what was the view like from down there? And Peter Taylor, with his tongue in his cheek, said, you bastard. Cloughie started laughing. So he said, when I took the job at Nottingham Forest, I remembered that Brian's was the only dugout there, so I made a beeline for the halfway line and that dugout, which was Brian's. So he said I went and sat down and had a look, and I thought, we got Bergkamp, Nelson Vivas, and one or two. He said, I thought to myself, how come we're in the bottom three with these players? And of course, that was it, but it's a great story. I mean, I did say to Ron, I said, Ron, you were in a bit of a predicament at Forest, wasn't it, when you took the job? He said, bit of a predicament. He said, we needed 4 points for a win and a few snookers. He said the Titanic had more chance of staying up than us.
I know. And it's incredible when you read the book as well, and he was saying, like Ron was saying there, he was one of 35, I think it's about 30 odd managers during a period of 23 years. It's bonkers. And when I was talking with Warren, it was the half that number of managers at Forest between, I think, from the early start of the century right up to when Brian Clough came in. But in the period of a third of that, we've had twice as many managers. So it just shows. But that's modern football a little bit as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So the merry-go-round.
Absolutely. The usual drill. If you say a book that I've got down here, I've got 10 books written down here. I'll say snap. Do you want to play your trump card? Is there a book that you're going to mention that you think I'll say snap to?
I think so. And let's kick off because I saw him recently. I think we did touch it on last month's podcast. But what about Ian Storey-Moore?
Always a snap for Ian Storey-Moore. Storey-Moore, my lord, Storey-Moore. Yeah.
Give it more. He will score. So I say I met with him. I saw him. He was doing a book signing at the City Ground a couple of weeks back. I didn't get a chance to speak to him. It was such a long queue getting his signature, but he was sitting next to the legendary John Robertson one side and Gary Birtles to the other. His book came out again through Pitch Publishing. That was in October, and I know you spoke to him obviously on a couple of occasions now, haven't you? I don't know if you've got another chat lined up with Ian, but a splendid career, splendid player. I love the front cover. It's just an eye-catching. It's got looking him straight down the lens in his Garibaldi red, in the old Forest kit as well, the old badge. Sterling book, great player.
Absolutely, and a lovely, lovely person. I have got to do another podcast with Storey-Moore, my lord, Storey-Moore, and it's going to be my starting 11. The best starting 11 that Ian Storey-Moore's played with. We have put it back a little bit because we've been really busy, and Ian has been on holiday, and he's got the book out, and there's a few book signings and that, and written by Stuart Humphreys and Richard Harrison, along with Storey-Moore. We have recently cut a podcast with Ian talking about how the book started, because when I did a Legends of the 70s podcast with Ian, he hadn't really got an appetite for it, but Stuart seen him in a coffee house and said, "Are you Ian Storey-Moore?" and then the book started. The Man That Cloughie Couldn't Buy, forward by Martin O'Neill, and it's a bit of a chunk of a book as well, isn't it? I've got it here. Great, as you say, a great picture as well. Out now by Pitch Publishing, the great, and I always say that, the great Ian Storey-Moore. And I've done a podcast with Storey-Moore. We've got his book, and I've also written a poem about Storey-Moore. And Stuart did say, if we have a second rerun, I'll include your poem in the book. So, watch this space. But what a great man, lovely person, great player, arguably one of the greatest. Well, I mean, there is an argument because Forest have had some great players, but certainly Storey-Moore is right up there with all the Forest greats.
Yeah, and I echo that about the great man. I mentioned the queue, and I can see from when I was watching the queue building up, it's because he takes time to speak to everyone as well. He's doing the signature, but he's taking time out to speak to people. You can just tell he's one of these people who just. I think he said in the podcast to you, didn't he? He doesn't see himself as necessarily who would want to read my book, you know. He's so laid. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. So what a great bloke.
Absolutely modest, and the players of that generation are so modest, and that's really why. When I said to him in the first place, "You're going to write a book," who'd really want to read my book, Gabbie? I said, "You're Ian Storey-Moore. You're an absolute legend. You know, thousands of people would." So, if you're a Forest fan, go out and buy the book. If you're a football fan, go out and buy the book. And if you're neither, just go out and buy the book. It's a great read by a great player. So you carry on. I'll be your stooge, and I'll let you take the lead, and I'll just comment every now and then.
Okay. Yeah, let me start with a book that, because I was went to talk about this, but it's in his memory as well, of the great Charlie Aiken, who's just sadly passed away just over 2 weeks ago. It's a weird timing sometimes with these things, but I received his book from, that's published by Legend Publishing, who, I think you know as well, they produce absolute quality books, and this is a chunk of a book, and I've got it. I'm holding it in my hand now, and then I'm going to have to put it down because it's that heavy. But it's a chunk of a book, and it's a beautifully presented book as well. Now, just to give you an idea, so if you don't mind me just giving you a little bit of an insight. So the foreword
is written by a guy called... Just interrupt you. Yeah. Written by Colin Abbott, my friend Colin Abbott. In fact, Colin.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply. Need new glasses or want a fresh new style? Warby Parker has you covered. Glasses start at just $95, including anti-reflective, scratch-resistant prescription lenses that block 100% of UV rays. Every frame's designed in-house with a huge selection of styles for every face shape. And with Warby Parker's free home try-on program, you can order 5 pairs to try at home for free. Shipping is free both ways, too. Go to warbyparker.com/covered to try 5 pairs of frames at home for free. warbyparker.com/covered.
Just come back from Charlie's funeral, and he dropped me a line because there was a Villa gig that he's going to, and he did ask me if I'd like to sit on his top table. He's a top man, Colin, and I know that he worked so hard on that Charlie Aiken book. It's not one that he just picked up and run with it. He's been working on that for a long time in between other books that he's written as well.
Well, you're spot on, and that's what I was going to add to it. So I'll mention that then because he's in his introduction. So by Colin Abbott, and he talks about it was during a drive to Wimbledon in 2016 that Charlie sprung it to him about writing his book because he was so impressed about his attention to detail of the books, and he writes Colin and said it takes a lot to shut him up. Yeah. But it just for a fleeting moment, he was staggered that Charlie, asked him to write a book about him. For him to write the book, the record appearance holder for one of the most, famous names throughout football, and he just thought a big publishing house would be all over his memoirs like a rash. But it's quite fit because obviously this is written before the sad news, and the last bit he says in his introduction. I hope we're not oversharing too much, but it says, "Lastly, I absolutely idolise Mr. Aiken. I was astounded he trusted me to write Uncatchable, and I sincerely hope the pages within have done the man justice to celebrate a truly outstanding career. This hasn't been as much as a commission, more of a personal, heartfelt tribute. Thank you for believing me, Charlie, and for giving me your friendship." That's the introduction. So, it's quite touching.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real top man, Colin. What he doesn't know about Aston Villa isn't worth knowing. I mean, he's forgotten more than I'd ever know about that particular football club. And he's got a great knowledge of football as well. And I was at Villa Park the night where the fans paid tribute and they all put the mobile phone torchlights on.
Lovely. Saw that.
It looked fantastic. From the Old End to the North Stand to the Trinity to the Doug Ellis. It was absolutely fantastic.
But just to add on that, because this book's it's 500 odd pages, and it's got a bit. I love the idea of this. At the back of it, there's a good 30, 40 odd pages of testimonies, and it's from players he's played with and various people, but always including fans that are just all, got a short bit about how much they, we respected him, and what a legend.
Yeah, and of course played for the New York Cosmos as well, did Charlie?
He did, alongside Pele.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course, wasn't it? So, but I just wanted to kick off with that, but it's a great book. I've not shared it as of yet, but I will do it at some point in the future. So when the time's right. But it's fantastic book called it's Uncatchable, and as you say, by Colin Abbott, the remarkable life story of Aston Villa's record appearance holder.
Fantastic. And can you do what you done last time and put all the books that we've referenced in your little line as you do, and then we'll put that out with the podcast, because we do cover a lot of ground and a lot of football books we do reference. And all these football books that are referenced on here you can find at Andy's website, myfootballbooks.com. So you crack on, mate. What else have you got for us?
Well, next one, it might be a snap. Let's see. It only came out a couple of weeks ago, but again, it's Pitch Publishing, and it's Gordon Milne's Shankly, My Dad and Me, written with a guy called Steve Younger. So Shankly, My Dad and Me, it's the fascinating story of Gordon Milne, one of Bill Shankly's first and most important Anfield signings. He played a key part really in transforming Liverpool into a football dynasty. A successful player, and he was captain as well for Sir Alf Ramsey. It's a story about his career. He went from Preston to Newcastle via Liverpool, Blackpool, Wigan, Turkey, and Japan, of all places. He narrowly missed out, it says, as well, about being selected for the World Cup winning squad in 1966. But again, some of the players he played alongside: Tom Finney, Moore, Jimmy Greaves. Yeah,
a golden generation. How confident of a snap would you be on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm going to go with 9.
Yeah, strong 9. It's a snap. Yeah. Anything that has Shanks in it really just gets my juices flowing. And as you say, Gordon Milne, great football player, great coach and manager as well. So Shanks, My Dad and Me by Steve Younger. The story of the great Gordon Milne. Yeah,
absolutely. There was another book, actually, another Shankly one. I think you might have shared it recently. The Lost Shankly boy. That came out by Pitch. It was a couple of years back now. Whose name completely escapes me now as soon as I said that. I think it was George Scott, was it?
I can see the front cover. But
I'm frantically trying to look at the book on my shelf next to me.
I can't remember. But I'm sure that you'll come up with it because you are an encyclopedia, of football books and a font of all knowledge.
It was George Scott.
Yeah, was it George? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was a strong 9 out of 10 confident that was the name.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to say this is a strong 10 out of 10 because I listened to your podcast as well about this book released. Keeping up the theme of Pitch Publishing, it was released last month. Match of My Life, the Newcastle United.
Yes, we did. We had the pleasure of Jake Rusby's company in making a podcast. I do wish, though, when we do the podcast, that they would share it and retweet it, etc., and what have you. And sometimes people don't really do that much for people like us, but really bend over backwards for the bigger people. So there you go.
Okay.
Moving on.
So that was Jake, and obviously written alongside Alex Crook-Binney as well.
Yes.
So
they wrote half of it each. And it was a really good podcast. I really enjoyed the podcast. It was over a friend of theirs who was a journalist down south who sadly passed away. The concept was born. But Alex had previously written a number of books. I think Southampton, Bournemouth, and Arsenal as well, because Jake is an Arsenal supporter. And then they got together and they did this, and there's some great stories. The great Super Mac is in there, and we had the pleasure of doing a Legends of the 70s podcast with Super Mac, Mr. Malcolm MacDonald, former teammate of Alan Hudson at Arsenal. Some great stories there. Was sent home from Australia with Huddy as well, 24 hours before the rest of the team. And all of those stories from Malcolm can be found on our Patreon site, all the w's.patreon.com/SRB Media. How's your Patreon site going anyhow? We don't need to know how many numbers you've got, but it's all up and running. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, been really good. A number of patrons. So it's been. I'm always quite surprised because you never know how these things go. But it's great that people are supporting, and I just say as I repeat, it's just such a massive benefit. It's so useful to me, and there is. I don't like to talk about cost kind of thing, but there is a cost associated with what I do. There's a website that it's not free. When I chose the website, I wish I'd chose a cheaper one, but I have to pay for it out of my own, to keep it up to date. And as you well know, especially nowadays, everything seems to go up and up. And also aside of that, it was like the newsletter that I do through a MailChimp. You may have heard of them. Okay. And one of the almost like the unfortunate side of becoming so popular, the newsletter, from it used to being free, I now have to pay a fee every month. So it's just little things like that, just build up. So it's the patron, and if you donate anything, it's absolutely great. I'll never go begging in hand, but if you can, it's really helpful, and obviously ultimately allows me to continue to do what I enjoy doing. And hopefully, I know from conversations, and I get so many, which is just incredible, from authors and publishers, that it helps as well from the work I do, which is just a byproduct, which is an amazing byproduct, is that I help promote, the written word and get the words out, the ones that we talk about on this. And the last 14 episodes is promoting the written word. So it all, every little bit counts. Becoming a patron, you're helping in a massive way, and helping, keeping the industry going, and keeping me going.
Absolutely, and it would be nice if you could turn that hobby into a business, and it really doesn't take that much. So, Patreons, it's only £1 a week. I pay £1 a week for yours, because there's different levels. So I'm just a supporter, but then you have different readers, you have different, publishers. So the more intense you are with the books, if you've got books out, link up with Andy, and you do a lot more for these people that are your patrons as well, which is great stuff, mate.
Yeah, and just on that, so it's just, again, it shows how, like we said at the very outset, like 3 years in, it's incredible. And I was been invited to the Sportsbook of the Year Awards in a couple of weeks' time, on the 30th of November. So I don't know where that's come from, but I've been invited to go and attend, which is incredible. It's actually hosted at Piccadilly in London. It's the home of the BAFTAs. So it's just like, it's like, I will, yes, I'm going to go. I've been invited, so I'm going to go, I'll take the day off work, and I'm going to go along. So it's just to be there, and it's going to be pretty remarkable. So, I think of some of the winners that have won that award, down the years, some of my most favourite books. Started off, I think it's Fever Pitch, Nick Hornby. He won it in 92. And then you had the likes of Duncan Hamilton. He won it in, I think it was 2007 with the book Provided You Don't Kiss Me.
Yes.
And 20 years of Brian Clough. So there's so much kind of history in that award. So, it's just one of those weird things. So sorry, I'm going off slightly off track here, but it just shows like the reach of what I do. It's just like, I just, popped into the Gmail. I was like, for a moment, it was one of these like, is this real? What's this about then? So, I was checking there wasn't some kind of click onto, some dodgy website. But no, it was kosher. So, looking forward to that.
Fantastic. And on next month's podcast in December, you'll have to tell us all about it, and hopefully we'll see some pictures from you at the awards, and we can retweet them and share them as well. So good luck to everybody at the football book or the sports books award. Yeah. What else you've got for us, mate?
Yeah, so let's get back under the book. So, what's coming out, or just come out, so in no particular order as always, was the book Chriis Kamara, Cammy. So My Unbelievable Life, and that's just come out. And I don't know if you saw it. It's well known now, sadly, of he's had that awful disease, isn't he? To do with his throat. I forget what it's called, but I saw an interview he did. It was on This Morning, was it ITV? And he broke down, didn't he? It was just, God, it's so heartbreaking just to watch it. And, an unbelievable, just when you think of how, when I think back to the days of Soccer Saturday, it was a life and blood, wasn't it? Him, Jeff Sterling and that. I must admit, when I watch that now, it's not even in comparison, is it? But anyway, seeing Cammy kind of thing. So his book's come out, and he talks about, obviously, tough upbringing. He faced racism on terraces when he played, and then he's dealt with this this rare. It's a brain condition, is it? Is it Chriis or something?
Yeah, something like that.
It's affected his speech anyway.
Yeah, it has. It's really sad. I don't know it couldn't have affected his vision. Do you remember that was classic one? He was going over to Cammy, there's a goal. Is it, Jeff?
Yeah.
Unbelievable,
Absolutely.
Jeff. Fantastic.
Yeah.
We're just such a natural one, Cammy.
Absolutely.
Such a natural. And that's what we loved about it. Phil Thompson, he arrived, he'd get his sandwiches out, and Matt Letizia. They were just normal guys that were good at football and brilliant at listening to their stories, and just so natural and humble and modest, and it was great. I don't watch it these days.
Yeah, no, you can imagine his book though would be like that as well, though. The fellow was if his trademark kind of banter and honesty. So, and it says in the synopsis here, I'm looking at, reveals how he went from a hard tackling football to broadcasting national treasure. Yeah. And so all the best to Cammy, and his book's just come out. Only last week that was.
He was a right dirty bastard, by the way, wasn't he, on the football pitch, Cammy? I remember him and Kenny Burns when I think he come down Brummagem with Portsmouth. I remember as a kid and I was watching it.
And to listen to the rest of this podcast, head on over to www.patreon.com/SRB Media. Thank you.
Need new glasses or want a fresh new style? Warby Parker has you covered. Glasses start at just $95, including anti-reflective, scratch-resistant prescription lenses that block 100% of UV rays. Every frame's designed in-house with a huge selection of styles for every face shape. And with Warby Parker's free home try-on program, you can order 5 pairs to try at home for free. Shipping is free both ways, too. Go to warbyparker.com/covered to try 5 pairs of frames at home for free. warbyparker.com/covered.